course in the Advanced Grammar and Punctuation Specialization. In this course, you'll learn how to express more complex ideas in both speaking and writing. You'll start by learning about what noun clauses are and how useful they can be in making your writing and speech more cohesive and understandable. Then, you'll learn how you can use them to report what someone else has said, which is something that is very useful in informal and formal communication. You will also learn about how to reduce noun clauses to make your writing and speech more concise and natural. After that, you'll learn about the different ways you can express conditional statements. That is, you'll focus on the different ways to use if in English, which can sometimes be a little tricky. You will explore the differences between expressing hopes and wishes, and you'll also learn how to notice the difference between plausible conditional statements and hypothetical conditional statements. By the end of the course, you will be a more sophisticated speaker and writer in English, and you'll have a deeper understanding of some complex grammar rules related to noun clauses and conditional statements. Are you up for the challenge?
Hi, I'm Jake, and I have been teaching English as a second language for the last 8 years. I teach all different skills of English, but grammar is my favorite thing to teach. I studied linguistics in college, so I'm also interested.
This week, you'll learn about noun clauses. You'll start by learning exactly what a noun clause is and what it does. Then you'll learn about the different types of noun clauses that exist in English. For example, you'll finally understand whether you should use what, if, or that at the beginning of a noun clause. Through lessons and exercises, you'll see many examples of how to use noun clauses both formally and in everyday speech. Sounds like fun, right? Noun clauses. Introduction. In this lesson, you will learn briefly what a noun clause is, what it does, and where it goes. We'll get into the details in other lessons. But first, it's important that we review what the job of a noun phrase is within a sentence. Noun phrases could serve as the subject of a sentence, just like my cat does here in this sentence. They could also be direct objects, just like tuna is here in this sentence. Or perhaps they could be an indirect object, just like my cat is here in this sentence. Or they could be an object of a preposition, just like tuna is in this example. Finally, noun phrases could be subject complements, just like a funny cat is here in this sentence. So these are all the jobs that a noun performs in a sentence. Remember, a noun could also be replaced by a pronoun, and a pronoun can do these jobs too. It's important to remember this before talking about noun clauses, because a noun clause can also perform all of these jobs in a sentence. As you've learned before, a clause contains a subject and a verb. In this case, a noun clause contains a subject and a verb, and is performing the job of a noun. Let's take a look at a few examples so I can show you what I mean. Okay, here are 3 simple sentences. In the first sentence, what job does a secret perform? That's right. It is an object. And in the second sentence, the pronoun it performs which job? In this case, it's the subject. Finally, it in the last sentence comes after of, which means it's the object of a preposition. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we can replace nouns and pronouns with noun clauses that perform the same functions. I want to tell you what I saw. Okay, you know in the original sentence, I want to tell you a secret is a noun phrase that performs the job of an object. In the sentence, I want to tell you what I saw is also acting as an object. In this case, what I saw is a noun clause because it performs the job of a noun and contains a subject and a verb. Because this clause is not the main clause of the sentence, we know that it is a dependent clause. Therefore, all noun clauses are dependent clauses. Let's look at 2 more examples. What I saw was in the water. Okay, now the noun clause, what I saw, is acting as the subject of the sentence. Notice that it receives a singular verb form, was. What I saw was in the water. And because of what I saw, I was so shocked that I nearly drowned. Shh. Okay, in this example, we can see how the noun clause, what I saw, is performing the job of an object of a preposition. Sometimes a simple noun or pronoun isn't enough to help us communicate what we want to say. Hey, that was a noun clause. That's why we use noun clauses. All right. Here's a few more examples. No one will believe me when I tell them what I saw. What I saw had a tail, scales, and was an excellent swimmer. What I saw was neither a fish nor a human. Can you guess what I saw? This is what I saw. A mermaid. Okay, let's quickly review the basics of noun clauses. A noun clause is a type of dependent clause, which means it has a subject and a verb, and it cannot stand alone. And because it is a noun clause, it does the job of a noun. Noun clauses can begin with these words. You'll learn more about that in the coming lessons. Thanks for listening. Bye. Clauses that begin with a question word. We can use question words like who, what, when, where, why, how, and which to ask questions in English. But we can also use them followed by a subject and a verb to make a noun clause. Let's take a look at a quick example with where. Hey, Helen. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah.
Do you know where I put my pencil? I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I know where you put your pencil.
Really? You heard, do you know where I put my pencil? And, yeah, I know where you put your pencil. Where I put my pencil and where you put your pencil are both examples of noun clauses beginning with a question word. Let's look at some more examples that will help us learn how we can make these noun clauses.
My phone's ringing. My hands are all greasy. Emily, can you answer my phone?
Got it. Hello? This is Emily. Jake's hands are greasy. Yeah, just a minute. It's your cousin Bob. He wants to know where you are.
You know where I am.
Right. She's at work. Noun clauses with if and whether. You already know that we can make a noun clause with a question word. In this case, the noun clause is acting as an object. When we use a question word, the noun clause is simply an embedded information question. We can also begin a noun clause with if or whether. Noun clauses that begin with if or whether are for embedded yes or no questions. For example, the question, "Is there a library here?" requires a yes or no response. So, when we make the question into a noun clause, we can either use if or whether to precede it. Where's Jake? Is she at work today? I haven't seen her. What? There she is. What is she doing? We can embed this question into another statement. The question is an information question, so we will keep where in the noun clause. Emily wonders where Jake is. This question is a yes or no question. So the word we use to begin the noun clause must be if or whether. Is she at work today? Emily wonders if Jake is at work today. Here we used if, but we can also use whether. Emily wonders is the independent clause. Whether Jake is at work today is the dependent clause, the noun clause, and in this case, it is acting as an object. What does Emily wonder? She wonders whether Jake is at work today. What is she doing? Is Jake looking for something? We can make this question into an embedded noun clause. Let's start our sentence with she wants to know. She wants to know if Jake is looking for something. We could also say she wants to know whether Jake is looking for something. Notice the word order in the question. It's different from the word order you see in the noun clause. Also, notice that when we use whether, it means the same thing as when we use if.
Whether or not I find you today is irrelevant. I will find you eventually.
Can you find the noun clause in this sentence? That's right. Whether or not I find you today is the noun clause. And what job does it have in this sentence? Is it an object or a subject? Well, it's clearly a subject because you see the verb is and the rest of the predicate irrelevant. Notice in this example I used or not. This is just another option for communicating the same idea. Whether or not I find you today is irrelevant is the same as saying whether I find you today is irrelevant. I could also say whether I find you or not is irrelevant, and it means the same thing. Okay, well, when Emily was looking out at Jake, wondering what she was doing, she held up some signs to ask her just exactly what was going on. First, she asked, "What are you doing?" Then she held up another sign that says, "Let me know if you need help." Where's the noun clause in this sentence? It's if you need help. We can say this same sentence in several different ways. These are all the ways we can use if and whether in noun clauses. Let me know if you need help. Let me know whether you need help. Let me know whether or not you need help. Let me know whether you need help or not. And let me know if you need help or not. All of these sentences mean the exact same thing. It's your choice as a speaker and writer which one you want to use. However, whether is slightly more formal, and if is slightly more informal. It is important to mention that even though we can turn questions into noun clauses, they often look a lot different in their noun clause form. Let me show you what I mean. Look at this question. Do you know what Jake was looking for? I can make a noun clause out of this question. Tell me if you know. Tell me if you know what Jake was looking for. In the question, we need the word do. However, in the noun clause, there is no do. Let's look at another example. Did Jake find something? I don't know. Let's see if she found anything. In this case, we're asking a question about something that happened in the past. So we need the auxiliary verb did. You already know this about questions. However, in the noun clause, you can see there is no auxiliary verb. This is something important to be aware of when using noun clauses with if and whether. Okay, now that you know how to make noun clauses with if and whether, let's see what happened after all with Jake. I wonder if she found what she was looking for. I wonder if she found it in the tree. Nope. Oh, it looks like she found it on the ground. What is it? A cookie? Oh, Jake. I wonder if she ate that after it had been sitting on the ground.
Noun clauses starting with that.
What are you looking for?
My glasses.
Your sunglasses?
Yeah. I don't know where I left them. I don't know if I left them here or in a classroom.
Oh, I believe that you might find your sunglasses in the restroom.
The restroom. Oh, you saw them there?
I've seen them. I'm guessing that you'll see them near the sink.
The sink. Ah, thanks, Judy. Bye.
Emily forgot that she has her sunglasses on her head. The fact that she has forgotten does not surprise me at all. She's lucky to have a friend like me. It's obvious that I'm helping her out by sending her to the restroom.
You may have learned that a noun clause functions as a noun. Noun clauses are often used as embedded questions. Emily doesn't know where she put her sunglasses. Emily doesn't know if she left them here or in a classroom. WH words like where are for information questions. If and whether are for yes-no questions. To give direct information, we use the word that. I believe that Emily will find them in the restroom. I am guessing that Emily will see them near the sink. That Emily will find them in the restroom. That Emily will see them near the sink. Let's look at the position of these that clauses. When a that clause is the object of a sentence, the word that is optional in spoken English. We usually leave it out in conversation. I believe Emily will find them in the restroom. I am guessing Emily will see them near the sink. In formal writing, however, we tend to leave that in the sentence. Noun clauses starting with that can also be the subject of a sentence. For instance, that Emily will find them in the restroom is my belief. Or, that Emily will see them near the sink is my guess. If a that clause is the subject of a sentence, the word that is not optional. It is required. Here is another example. That she has forgotten about the sunglasses on her head doesn't surprise me. Actually, it is uncommon to start a sentence with that. It is more common to start with the fact that. The fact that she has forgotten doesn't surprise me. In spoken English, that can be omitted. The fact she has forgotten doesn't surprise me. In formal writing, of course, the sentence is much clearer to readers if no words are omitted. Other expressions that can be used to make a that clause sound more natural at the beginning of a sentence include the idea that, the belief that. As mentioned earlier, it is common to place the that clause at the end of the sentence because if the subject is too long, the sentence may be difficult to understand. To accomplish this, replace the subject with a non-referential it. It doesn't surprise me that she has forgotten. Remember that when placed in the object position, the word that is often omitted in spoken English. The non-referential it can only be used with that. It cannot be used with expressions such as the fact that, the idea that, or the belief that. Let's look at two more sentences. That I am helping Emily by sending her to the restroom is obvious. It is obvious that I am helping Emily by sending her to the restroom. Which way is more common? That's right, the second one. The noun clause is in the object position. Notice that clauses can follow adjectives. In this case, it is the adjective obvious plus the noun clause that I am helping Emily. The subject of the sentence is often it, but not always. That clauses can follow adjectives in sentences that refer to people too. Emily is lucky that she has a friend like me, with the adjective lucky plus the noun clause that she has a friend like me. In this lesson, you learned that noun clauses can start with that. I'm sure that you will enjoy the ending of this video.
Bathroom, sink, but they're not here. Near the sink.